Around a month ago, we made a video about how to get onto Spotify playlists. Spotify had released a new method for doing so, so if you aren't currently aware of that, I'd recommend going and checking out that video. But today, I'm going to respond to a comment that was left on that video.
Okay, but my biggest problem with all this is why do they have to be fresh off the press tracks? Who cares if it's on release date? If it's a good song that deserves to be on the playlist, it's a good song that deserves to be on the playlist. On top of that, if I'm an unknown artist who doesn't have a lot of followers, which is who this is supposed to benefit, release dates would not matter. The whole point of release dates is to let your existing fans know when your music will be available. If someone doesn't know who you are, then they don't know when your song came out and they probably don't care. I have tons of tracks I've already released that would fit a variety of playlists. You're telling me that I can't submit songs for playlists that 1, I already know will do well based on the attention they got at release, and 2, are already on the platform just sitting there. Starting from scratch and not utilising my catalogue that's already there blows.
Yes. Big round of applause for Joe. Thank you very much. Okay. I agree with everything that you've said. However, I'm going to kind of explain why it isn't the case and why it probably never will happen. So I agree that if you're a new artist and you released a song a year ago and would like that song to be in playlists and it didn't get picked up for playlists a year ago when it was released, there is no reason why that doesn't deserve to be in playlists now. And I get kind of the frustration of having a really good song released and it not getting picked up when you feel as though it should. I get it. There's a very particular reason why Spotify playlists, PR blogs, reviewers only really touch new material. And the fact of it is, and playlists are probably the best way of explaining this, is there is so many songs released forever, like for the entirety of time of released music. There is loads of it. There's so much recorded music. So when you say, I'm going to make a rock playlist, if you're limiting yourself to forever, there is no limit, then it's going to be filled with Led Zeppelin, there's going to be Jimi Hendrix in there, there's going to be Royal Blood, Foo Fighters, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Black Sabbath. Even if you picked one song for every 10 rock artists, your rock playlist will still be filled with world stage artists. Maybe some big national artists, but the little artists that really benefit from getting playlisted wouldn't be in those playlists. So opening up the idea of, well, playlists should just be able to take anything from anyone's catalogue means that really you would be less likely to get playlisted rather than more likely. So I get the idea of you have good songs that have been released and have done well, say a year ago, but for the climate to change in such a way that that would get playlisted today means a big shift elsewhere that would actually not benefit you. Radio will play older songs, yes, it will. But it won't play older songs from new bands. Even bigger artists, if Bullet for My Valentine released a new song today, radio would play that new song, not something from a year ago. Even if the song from a year ago was more liked, was more popular, and the DJ preferred it, they would play the new track. Same with any artist, big artist, little artist, whatever, they will play the new tracks. The only old tracks that get played on radio are the tracks that have already established as being kind of almost milestones of good music, if you like. So unless your track already is that, the old tracks aren't going to get played. And I get that's a bad thing. And you can always re-release tracks to kind of combat that. I can't remember what track it is from Ed Sheeran. It might be A-Team, but he re-released that loads. Loads and loads and loads and loads and loads. And then one day it kind of got viral and big and everyone thinks maybe Ed Sheeran's like an overnight sensation, and he's not. He tried for a very long time. As recent stories and documentaries and stuff have kind of shown, sometimes you do have to grind, and this I get is a frustration, but you are going to have to do the grind too. I guess the thing to take away from this is expect this to be the case. Unless you've got something new, unless you've got something coming up, no one cares. PR doesn't care, radio doesn't care, blogs don't care, reviewers don't care. If you say, we had an EP out last year, would you like to review it? Where's the intrigue with that? Everyone likes to have stuff early, not late. If you want reviews, get in touch with people for reviews before your track is out, not after. And I get that's not really what your point was, but it does kind of beg the question of this overarching industry and how it's so instant. It needs to be the now, because that's just how it works, and that's how it should work, because that benefits new artists. If Spotify makes a playlist that is the best tracks from this week, if the big, huge artists, if there's only 5 releases from them this week, they've got to fill that playlist with smaller artists, which is fantastic. No one benefits from that being opened up to all time ever, and playlists will get really boring and samey. So I get you're not saying open that up to big artists, but that would have to happen for what you want to happen. As much as it makes sense from that kind of PR background, the same goes for actually creative-wise. It makes more sense, because in theory, you're constantly improving. In theory, everything you make is better than the last thing you made. So really, your new stuff should be the stuff that you want to push. It needs to be the stuff that you're pushing anyway, but the fact that it in theory is your best stuff yet, and you should present it as your best stuff yet, means that presenting your old stuff shouldn't be something that's on your mind. I get that you like it. I get that you like your old music. That's fine. There's also something to think about where if a blog picked up an older track and you promoted it, for example, you'd be promoting that to your audience who are already aware of the track because it came out a year ago. So it's like old news to them. They shouldn't in theory care, because they've heard that for a year. It's an old song to them. So I don't know, it puts you in a bit of a weird situation. I get in the overarching scheme of things, it doesn't really matter, but the reality is that you probably won't get that anyway. So don't worry about it, because the industry works how the industry works. It's very hard to change, and it being as immediate as it is probably a good thing. So this video, I get, doesn't have a huge topic and isn't necessarily teaching a great deal, but it is something that I thought was worth mentioning, because it's something that gets overlooked quite a lot. This industry, along with most other creative industries, is kind of, it's like a rolling ball. It doesn't stop, it doesn't look back, and it just keeps going. And unless you're feeding it, you're in the past. You don't exist anymore, and you won't get picked up on playlists and blogs, on reviews, on radio. That's just how it is, and for better or for worse, that's what you've got to adapt to. Anyone who lives near us, which is like the South Yorkshire area of England, we are running an event with Kicker with Martin Atkins. If you don't know who Martin Atkins is, he's fantastic. You need to come to this event. It's free. I will link in the thing. Come. It's free tickets. Come. Say hi to us. Come. Okay.